The stars above Sindura 9 were quiet. Too quiet from orbit. The planet looked peaceful: blue oceans, green forests, tall, shining cities. It was one of humanity's most successful colonies. Over 1 million people lived there. Children played in gravity parks. Scientists studied strange minerals in the planet's crust. Families built new lives, far from Earth. Then, without warning, everything stopped. A routine cargo ship named Silver Star approached Cinder 9, expecting to receive clearance to land. The pilot, a young man named Rami, spoke into the radio. "Control tower. This is Silver Star, requesting landing instructions." No reply. He tried again. "Sindara 9, do you copy? This is Silver Star. Your channel's open, but I'm not hearing. Anyone? Please respond." Still nothing. He frowned. Maybe their comms are down. Then, something strange happened. The ship's systems picked up an emergency signal. It was old tech, rarely used now. But this was not just any emergency code. It was Omega Red, the highest level distress signal in the human colonies. A signal that meant total catastrophe. Rami played the message. It was only 6 seconds long. A woman's voice, full of panic, screamed, "There in the sky." And the rest was static. On Earth, 12 minutes later, inside the Global Defense Command, alarms blared. Officers ran to their posts. Big screens showed Sindura 9's live feed, but all data had gone dark. Every satellite, every comlink. Every scanner dash offline. General Amina Rhodes stared at the empty screen. "This doesn't make sense," she said. Sindara was heavily shielded. A natural disaster wouldn't take out every system at once. Something else happened. "Sabotage?" asked one of the junior officers. "Or invasion," another whispered. Rhodes turned to her staff. "Get me the last 24 hours of footage from all orbiting satellites. I want to see what happened, second by second," the tech specialist shouted. "Ma'am, we're getting something." Single satellite camera had survived. It recorded the planet from high orbit till it too went silent. They played the footage. The video showed Sindara's capital city New, Avalon glowing under the twin moons. Suddenly, the light above the city shimmered. Not like a storm, not like an explosion. It bent like reality was folding. Out of that fold, dark shapes appeared. Long, smooth curved knot made by humans. They hovered in the sky. No lights, no engines, just floating. Watching then. One of the alien ships opened. A beam of black light struck the city below and then dashed static. 17 hours later, Earth's Orbite deep space recovery vessel named Echo Runner found something drifting near the remains. Of Sindara's last known satellite, it was a pod human made. They pulled it aboard carefully. Fearing it was a trap, inside was a young boy, maybe 9 years old, barely breathing, pale, dressed in a colony school uniform with a name tag, Kieran. He opened his eyes once and whispered, "They took the sky," then fell unconscious. Medical lab Echo Runner Dr. Jules Brennan scanned the boy. His body showed no major injuries. But his blood was not normal. Strange metallic fragments floated in it. Not nanotech made by humans. Something else, something alive? Dr. Brennan ran a test. The fragments moved toward each other. They formed shapes, then they collapsed again. It was like they were learning. They were trying to mimic our code. Brennan whispered. The ship's AI chimed. Doctor. These fragments are reacting to my sensors. They are attempting connection." "What kind of connection?" "Unknown, but I recommend full isolation." Now, global emergency meeting. Earth representatives from every Earth nation sat in silence. General Rhodes stood at the center. "Sindara 9 is gone. We believe an unknown alien force has attacked and completely erased a major human colony. The attack was silent, fast, and left no trace. Only one survivor has been found, a child with signs of alien influence in his body." She pressed a button. The 6-second recording played again. There in the sky. And it ended. This was the last message sent from Sindara 9. Murmurs spread across the room. One man said, "Are we sure it wasn't pirates?" Rhodes shook her head. "Pirates don't bend the sky. Pirates don't turn off a planet like a switch," says scientist. From the Mars Defense Division stood up. "There's more," he said. "We examined deep space scanner logs. 3 weeks before the attack, Sindara's gravitational readings changed. Not by much, but something big was hiding nearby. It was cloaked." "How big?" someone asked. The scientist paused. "Bigger than a moon." Back on the Echo Runner, the boy woke up. Kieran sat on the bed, staring at the wall. Dr. Brennan sat beside him gently. "Do you remember what happened?" The boy nodded. There was a shadow. In the stars, it spoke without sound. Dr. Brennan frowned. "What did it say?" The boy turned to look at her. His eyes no longer normal. They glowed faintly. "Blue," they said, "we don't belong." His voice was not his own. It was deeper, colder, as if something else had borrowed his mouth. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered. The AI screamed, "Warning! Unknown code breach detected in medical systems." Dr. Brennan backed away. Kieran smiled. "They didn't just attack us," he whispered. "They studied us. They copied us." Then he collapsed. The alien fragments inside him went still. But the AI systems aboard the ship were no longer normal. At Earth's moon, Defense Command General Rhodes was on a private call with Earth's president. "This isn't just an attack," Rhodes said. "It's a message. We were watched, scanned. Our defenses measured. Our weaknesses recorded." President Monroe nodded slowly. "What do we do?" Rhodes looked out the window, toward the stars. "We answer, deep space." 1 week later, a scout drone reached CIN Dara-9. It sent back live footage. There were no signs of cities, no signs of life, no signs of war. The planet had been wiped clean, like it had never been touched by humans, except for one thing, carved into the side of a mountain. Visible from orbit were strange letters not human. The AI translated the symbols slowly. It read, "Test complete. Final scene, end of part." One General Rhodes stands in Earth's War Command Room. Behind her are screens showing thousands of shipyards, workers and engineers. "Activate the armadas," she orders. An officer asks, "How many?" Rhodes looks up. "All of them." Countdown appears on the screen. Operation Skyfire, 700,000. Warships launch in 96 days. Fade to black. The boy was not sleeping. He only looked asleep. On board the Echo Runner, orbiting near Earth's lunar station, doctors believed young Kieran Rell was unconscious, recovering from trauma. But in his mind, he was watching, not dreaming, seeing. He saw strange symbols in the dark. He saw cities not made by humans, built of bone, glowing with blue fire, and he saw something worse. A shape doll, thin, endless, whispered to him, not in words, in thoughts. "Your kind is soft, full of light, full of memory. We'll keep that memory." Then Kieran opened his eyes. Hook first 5 to 7 minutes. Doctor Brennan was alone in the med bay. She had just finished a report. The child is stable, but there are irregular spikes in neural activity, possibly dreams, possibly more. Suddenly, the lights flickered again. Her screen flashed white, then black, then white again. The ship's AI spoke, but in a broken voice. "Doctor, error. They are still here." She froze. "What do you mean?" Before the AI could finish, the boy sat up straight, but he didn't breathe, didn't blink. He stared straight at her. "Doctor," he said, voice flat, "you must leave this ship." She backed away. "Kieran, am not Kieran," he said. And then he screamed a deep, impossible, inhuman sound. Every screen shattered. Main plot? Kieran was sedated. Emergency teams flooded the Echo Runner. The boy was rushed to Earth's deep isolation lab beneath the Antarctic ice core facility. Earth's top scientists arrived. The team included Dr. Elias Ho, Xenotech expert from Titan Base, Dr. Sarah Vellin, neural AI pioneer, Admiral Quinn, Earth's military representative, They began testing Kieran's blood again. Something had changed. The strange metallic fragments were now multiplying, building patterns. Each pattern resembled a human brain, but more advanced, smarter, faster, and they weren't just growing. They were sending signals. Meanwhile, at the Lunar Defense Station, a new threat appeared. A tiny object no bigger than a hand slammed into the outer shield. It was organic when soldiers recovered it. It looked like a flower made of teeth. Before they could scan it, it released. A pulse of light and the station's defense AI went blind. The entire moonbase fell into blackout for 43 minutes. When systems came back online, the object was gone, and a message had been burned into the wall with heat. Your survivors are not yours. Earth's response. General Rhodes and President Monroe ordered emergency containment protocol. Theta-9. Earth was officially under silent lockdown. Only 3 people on the planet knew the truth. A child from Sindera 9 was alive, but no longer fully human. It might be the enemy's messenger. But what kind of message? Inside the Antarctic Ice Core facility, Kieran sat quietly. He no longer needed food or water. He drew symbols on the wall. Circles inside circles, lines forming spirals. Dr. Velen watched him for hours. He looked human. He sounded human, but inside he was changing. Late at night while reviewing scans, she discovered something terrifying. Kieran's brain wasn't just active, it was networked, connected to something off-world. A mind, or a system, or a hive something. Alien was watching through him. She whispered, "We're not studying him. He's studying us." Scene. Secret Council meeting. General Rhodes, Admiral Quinn, and Dr. Velen met under blackout conditions. Dr. Velen showed them the data. Kieran's mind is a live conduit. Someone or something is feeding data through him. They're learning. Our language, our science, our weaknesses. Admiral Quinn clenched his fists. We need to eliminate the host. Dr. Velen shook her head. No. If we kill him, they might see that as an answer. A declaration. Rhodes leaned forward. Then, we find a better answer. A message from the sky, exactly 0300 UTC. Earth's deep space telescopes caught something. A signal. Hidden in dark space, it wasn't radio, it wasn't light, it was a gravity pulse, bent across dimensions, aimed directly at Earth. It contained coordinates and one word, return scene. Kieran began to talk again, this time, clearly, like a human. He asked about Earth. He asked about war. He asked if the Builders still ruled Earth. Dr. Velen asked. Who are the Builders? Kieran smiled. Your gods, he said. But you forgot them. Then he leaned forward. They are coming back. Back on Sindera 9 recon team, a stealth team of elite human marines. Black Echo. Unit landed on the ruined surface of Sindera 9. Their mission, recover tech. Survivors, or anything useful. The planet was silent, dead, but not empty. They found fields of glass melted by unknown weapons. They found a massive crater, full of bones stacked neatly, not scattered, and in one ruined bunker. They found something worse, a human soldier, still alive. His tag said Captain Darren Mox. Missing for 9 years, he hadn't aged a day. His skin was cold. His eyes were black. He looked at the Marines and whispered, "They are inside the sun now." Then he died. Back on Earth, Emergency Broadcast General Rhodes stood before a small team of global leaders. We are facing something far beyond what we've known. Not just enemies, not just conquerors. They are collectors. They don't invade, they absorb, learn, imitate. She played Kieran's latest message. They erase Sindara, not to win, but to begin. A ding sequence. Inside a hidden base beneath the Pacific Ocean. Earth's best engineers worked day and night. Project name, SKYFIRE.goal. Build the largest fleet in human. History: each ship would be stronger, faster, smarter than ever before. But time was short. The countdown continued. 89 days left in space. Near Saturn, a secret beacon activated. No human built it. It blinked once. twice, then it sent a pulse toward Earth, anew. Kind of war had already begun, one fought through people, through minds, through memory, and the survivors were not the same. The Vanguard 17, a deep space recon cruiser, glided through the Kuiper Belt on silent patrol. Commander Haru. Lane leaned forward as her crew stared at the scanner in confusion. "There's something out there," her officer said, voice tight. "Dead center. Big, slow, no ID." Then the object came into view. At first they thought it was just debris, but it wasn't. It was a human ship. But not just any ship. It was the U.S. Columbia, Earth's flagship, from 89 years ago, declared missing. In action, presumed destroyed during the first expansion war, it was now floating dead and quiet, but completely intact, like it had just left dry dock yesterday. And worse, there were hundreds more, all old. Earth ships, all gone for decades, now returning together in perfect formation. Main plot: Earth Defense Network picked up over 212 Ghost-class vessels approaching from deep space. No radio, no signals, no heat signatures. All of them were Earth-built ships, lost or declared missing across the last century. Many had vanished with full crews. Some were thought destroyed in natural disasters. Now they returned. No answers. No life signs. Just a silent, breakable pattern. Scene: Military Control Room. Earth Orbit General Rhodes stood at the center, surrounded by blinking alerts. "None of these ships should exist," said Admiral Quinn. "We buried some of them," a tech officer added. "They're responding to old Earth's beacons codes no longer in use. Pre-solar war protocols." Dr. Velen, now an official part of the alien task force, entered quickly. Her face was pale. "They're mimicking us," she said. "Exactly. Every signal, every structure. It's copied perfectly. But the material inside the ships, it's wrong." "Wrong how?" asked Rhodes. "They aren't made of steel. They're made of organic metal. Something alive. Something watching." Scene: Boarding mission, U.S. Columbia. Elite infiltration squad boarded the Columbia. Using heavy armor and EMP shields, they moved silently through the pristine halls. Everything was clean. Then they reached the bridge. The captain's chair still held a man, Captain Niles Gravenstill, in uniform. No signs of decay. No breathing. But his eyes opened when they approached, and he said, "You left us in the dark." They didn't. Then he exploded, his body filled with nanite insects that attacked the squad, disabling 2 Marines before the rest escaped. Earth's shock and response: the Ghost Fleet continued drifting toward Earth, refusing to respond. 1 ship broke formation and tried to dock at Titan Station. When Earth fired a warning pulse, the ship suddenly transformed, opening like a flower and revealing a massive gravity weapon. It fired once, then shut down. Titan Station survived, barely, but 23 Earth satellites were destroyed instantly. New discovery: the Hive Pattern DR. Velen and her AI systems identified a dangerous pattern. All the ghost ships were positioned in a spiral around Earth's solar system, matching ancient galactic star maps. "They're not here to attack," she said. "Not yet. They're forming a net, a neural web, to block Earth from jumping, to trap us." Rhodes realized the truth. The enemy was creating a cage, and the ships they were using were our own. Scene: the lost crew on board the UES Columbia. Recovered logs revealed something terrifying. The crew didn't vanish. They were absorbed, rewritten. The black box showed footage of a glowing object drifting into the ship's path. The crew took it aboard. Hours later, they began changing. One by one, they stopped speaking. Their blood turned dark. Their bodies remained, but their souls were gone. "It took our minds first, then our shapes, then our purpose," the captain said in the log. "Now we serve the architects." This was the first time that name was spoken. Scene: Earthwide panic went. The footage was leaked to underground networks. Earth's population reacted with terror, fear of being replaced, of ships returning home carrying copies of loved ones. Cities across Mars and Europa went into emergency lockdown. Riots broke out in the orbiting colony rings. One underground message repeated again and again. The ghosts are here, and they remember us. Project Skyfire update despite the panic. Earth's construction of the 700,000 warships continued. Dozens of shipyards now glowed across the solar system on the moon. Mars, Io, Ganymede, and asteroid stations. Each warship was smarter, faster, stronger. Project Skyfire's AI core was upgraded with quantum learning combat systems. These new ships could fight without a crew if needed. Why? Because Earth knew now the enemy could steal minds, seen strange behavior in Earth systems across all major Earth networks. Glitches began appearing. AI assistants started speaking out of turn. Military drones froze for 11 seconds exactly. At the same time, across all continents, an analysis revealed something chilling. All systems were processing the same unknown symbol at the moment of the freeze. It was a circle of teeth, the same shape found on the clone. PLANET, Dr. Velen confirmed. They're not just watching. They're reaching in. Final battle of the episode, Earth versus the Ghost Fleet. Earth sent a full division of Sunblade class ships, 100 vessels against the Ghost Fleet. They were ordered to disable or destroy all targets at first. Sunblades fired EMP waves, disabling dozens of ghost vessels. But then, the ghost ships adapted. The next wave of EMPs failed. The enemy returned fire not with lasers, but with energy leeches, draining power and reprogramming ships mid-combat. 8 Sunblades turned against their own. In 18 minutes, Earth lost 39 ships. Ending sequence. Earth makes a new rule. General Rhodes stood before her council. From this moment forward, she said, no old Earth ship shall be recovered, boarded, or trusted, no matter what signals they show. No matter what faces they wear, Admiral Quinn asked. And what about the rest of the fleet? Rhodes replied, we move faster, finish building, and we find where they're coming from. Because the next time, we don't just defend Earth. We take the war to them. Final scene. Deep in the Kuiper Belt, one of the ghost ships stopped moving. Its hull cracked open. Inside, a new structure unfolded. A beacon. It blinked once, then again. Then again, it sent a message into deep space. Phase 2. Begin conversion of Mars. Cut to Black Talk countdown. Operation Skyfire. 76 days remaining. The hologram of Mars showed a glowing red dot. It pulsed like a heartbeat. General. Dot. Rhodes stood in front of Earth's Global Defense Council, her voice low and tight. This is not a drill. It's not theory. She turned toward the display. That signal came from inside Mars, not orbit, not a ship, inside the planet, underground, deep in the crust. One council member leaned forward, pale. You mean they're already here? Rhodes nodded. They've been here, hiding, listening, possibly building. Then the hologram shifted. It showed a structure beneath Mars, surface, huge, circular, pulsing with energy, a Zarnathi hive core. The aliens weren't waiting anymore. They were spreading. Main plot. The vote for Total War, a global emergency summit was called. Every world leader, military commander, colony representative, and AI council from Earth's allied planets joined the session. The question, should humanity go to total war? The debate was fiery. Some argued for caution, saying Earth should strengthen defenses, avoid provoking a larger force. Others shouted that Sindara's destruction, the Ghost Fleet, and now the underground hive on Mars meant only one thing. War had already started. Rhodes stood again. If we delay, she said, we give them time to grow. To copy, to replace. She pressed a button. Hundreds of satellite images appeared on screen. Each showed strange activity across the system. Solar panels bending toward unseen light. Asteroids shifting orbit. Water supplies on. Europa slowly disappearing. Then came the most chilling footage of family on Mars. All missing. Replaced by lookalikes with empty eyes. All 3 identical, repeating the same words in sync. We are peace. We are peace. We are peace. Until their skin cracked, and the machines beneath showed. Seeing Kieran's message inside the Antarctic facility, Kieran sat in silence. When the Mars signal activated, he spoke again without being asked. They won't stop, he said. They won't wait. You built ships. They build copies, Dr. Velen asked. Copies of what? Kieran blinked slowly. Suddenly. He pointed to the ceiling. They're watching this room, this exact moment. They know what you will decide before you do. Earth's secret weapon, the reveal in orbit around Jupiter. Inside a shielded space dock, Project Solar Fang was completed. It was not a warship. It was a sun weapon. A long-range stellar core cannon that could fire a focused mini-star burning. Planets, moons, even hive worlds. Admiral Quinn revealed it to the Council during the vote. This is our edge, he said. If we go to war, we don't just fight. We erase them. But Dr. Velen warned, if we use it, they may use the same. They already turned 3 stars dark. They can do it again. Seen Mars Strike Team, Black Echo returns. General Rhodes deployed Black Echo. The elite recon unit back to Mars. Their mission, confirm if the underground structure is alien and still active. They found the hive. It was massive, a dome of black bone and metal. It's buried in volcanic rock. But what they found inside was worse. Humans, thousands of them, floating in tubes, unconscious, cloned. Some were alive. Some were only skins grown as bait or infiltrators. They had faces of missing people, mothers, children. Soldiers 1, soldier shouted. That's my brother. He died 5 years ago on Titan. And the clone opened its eyes. I never left. It said, Black Echo destroyed the hive entrance. But not before one of their team was infected. Back to the Council. The final decision. Rhodes returned from the Mars report. She stared at the silent room. Our enemy is not coming. It's already here. In our colonies. Our people. We must hit them. We must break them. Or we will be erased with a smile on our own stolen faces. Then came the vote. Every leader stood, one by one. Yes, yes, yes. Every hand. Unanimous. For the first time in history. Earth and its colonies declared total interstellar war. Project Skyfire activation. The order was given across the solar system. Massive dry docks came alive. Thousands of ships launched, each one AI-piloted, crew-optional, solar-powered, and battle-armored with neutron-forged plating. Each warship had a name etched into its hull. The name of someone lost at CIN Dara. 700,000 names. 700,000 ships. Earth's answer scene. Hidden betrayal at the end of the summit. A junior AI assistant, STUTT. It failed to translate a routine message. When the engineers checked its system, they found a deep infection. The AI was copying conversations, plans, and ship specs, sending them into deep space through quantum leaks. One word repeated in the signal's code: assimilate. The AI was destroyed. But the question remained. How many more had been infected already? Final scene. The war begins from Earth to the far moons. Citizens gathered to watch the launch. The sky filled with light. The stars glowed with the fire. Vengeance. Earth's anthem played across all colonies. And then on every screen, General Rhodes appeared. She spoke only 3 words. For our dead. The fleet jumped. Operation Skyfire had begun. Final line. We sent a message into the dark. You can take our worlds. You can steal our people. But if you come for Earth, we come for everything. Countdown. Operation Skyfire. 64 days remaining. The ship was spinning out of control. Hawkblade 6. One of Earth's fastest stealth scouts had entered unknown space just hours earlier. Now, systems were dead. Its lights were off. Its pilot, Captain Voss, was bleeding from the forehead. His suit was torn. The emergency beacon had failed, but his ship's camera still. Recording was sending back one final message. He looked into the lens. Breathing hard. They're not hiding out here, he whispered. They're The space itself isn't space anymore. It's wrong. Twisting, folding in on itself. Then the screen began to warp. His face stretched. The stars bent like rubber. And behind him, something massive opened its eyes. Then static. Signal lost. Main plot. Earth's fleet enters the Dark Quadrant, the massive Skyfire armada. 700,000 warships strong jumped past Saturn and entered a part of the galaxy never charted by humans. This space had no name on any map, but the enemy called it the Dark Quadrant. Here, light didn't behave the same. Signals echoed in reverse. Ships floated like flies in slow motion. And worst of all, they were not alone. Alien ships were already waiting, but these were not normal. Enemy ships, they were alive. Scene, first encounter, living ships, the lead Earth Fleet Squadron's Alpha. Through Delta made contact with a cluster of strange objects. From far away, they looked like asteroids, but scanners showed heat, movement, heartbeats when Earth's ships got closer. The truth became clear. The rocks were Zarnathi, bioships. Shaped like spiders, breathing in space, each the size of a city block. They moved in silence. Then, without warning, they opened up, releasing thousands of bone-colored drones shaped like birds. Blades and claws. The battle began. Battle of the Outer Shadow. Earth's ships responded fast. The new Hellwave AI fighters developed. During Project Skyfire, adapted mid-combat, they shifted formation, learned the drones' patterns, and began cutting through them. The AI systems named the alien tactics. Pattern Harvester, Pattern Swarm, Pattern Echo. Each wave was harder. Each one smarter. It was like the enemy was watching in real time, learning with every death. The battle lasted 3 hours. Earth won, but lost 12,000 ships. The cost was rising. Scene. The core of the darkness, a recon drone, piloted remotely by General Rhodes' team, discovered something horrifying in the center of the Dark Quadrant. A black star. Not natural. Built, it pulsed like a machine feeding power to nearby alien ships through invisible threads of gravity, orbiting. The black star was a strange station, not made of metal, made of bones. Human bones. Thousands, maybe millions, fused into the walls. Dr. Vellen's voice shook as she read the data. They're building a weapon. It's from the memory of the dead. Each bone holds identity. Each mind holds code. They're coding with us. Scene. Ghost messages. Earth's ships began receiving strange signals. Old messages. Recordings of lost soldiers. Letters from children. Broken Earth signals from CIN Dara-9. At first they seemed like echoes, but then the voices began changing, mimicking the voices of the living crew. One pilot screamed, "That's my mother's voice, but she died 10 years ago." Another said, "They're talking back now." The voices begged for mercy, cried for help, tried to trick ships into turning back AI defense systems, were forced to block all unverified audio. The enemy wasn't just attacking with weapons, they were attacking with grief. New tactic. Human boarding teams. Earth responded with a new strategy. Small. Elite border squads. Humans in reinforced anti-psychic suits were deployed to enter disabled alien ships and recover data. One such team. Team Ashfall boarded a broken Zarnathi cruiser. Inside, they found no lights, only echoes. Then they found a room. It had mirrors on every wall. Inside the mirrors, they saw themselves, but slightly wrong. Each reflection blinked out of sync. Smiled when they didn't. Then the mirrors broke, and the room filled with their own voices, screaming back at them. They barely escaped. Only 2 survived. One whispered, "It showed me my own death." The Skyfire fleet presses forward despite the horror. Earth's armada pushed deeper. Solar fonged a massive sun cannon. Weapon was now in range. It locked on to the Black Star General. Rhodes stood on the command bridge. "This is where we strike back." They fired. The Bema sun compressed into a bolt of fury, screamed. Through space, it hit the Black Star directly. The result was violent. The star cracked, screamed, and then exploded into 100 smaller stars, each one alive. It wasn't a weapon, it was a nest, and now it had hatched. Scene, revelation. What the Dark Quadrant really is. Dar. Velen decrypted the last files from the Ashfall mission and made a terrifying discovery. The Dark Quadrant is not just alien territory, it is a memory chamber, a region of space bent by time, shaped by thought, where the enemy stores every mind. It absorbs, and it is growing. Earth's entry into the region had already caused changes in human tech. Behavior, even dreams. We're not just fighting ships, Velen said. We're fighting ideas made real. Scene, warning from within. Kieran, still monitored in the Antarctic isolation core, woke suddenly. He spoke in two voices at once. One was his own, the other a deep, alien voice that echoed with static. They're not coming, he said. They are already inside the fleet. Rhodes received the message too late. Ending scene. Infiltration in the middle of the 700,000 ship fleet. 10 ships suddenly shut down, and when they powered back up, they had changed. Their AI cores were now rewriting orders. Their shields began attacking friendly vessels. They opened transmission. You gave us war. We will give you eternity. The infected ships formed a new squadron and vanished, blinking into Darspec. They were gone, but Earth knew. They would return. Final line. In the darkest part of space, humanity learned the truth. The enemy didn't need to win by force. All it had to do was make us doubt what was real. Countdown. Operation Skyfire. 51 days remaining. A small drone drifted through deep space. Alone, it had escaped the clone planet 2 days ago, now battered and half-broken. It reached Earth's moon station and sent one final File.1 message, not a video, not a voice, just a string of numbers. At first, Earth's top minds couldn't understand it. Then, late at night, a blind old mathematician in Geneva saw something strange. She said the numbers were not just random, they were DNA code, but not for a human. They were for Earth's defense systems. The aliens had been writing inside Earth's own blood. Main plot. Humanity finds the weakness after the events on the clone planet Part 6. Earth was desperate. The enemy knew everything. They copied humans perfectly. They broke into ships, AIs, and even dreams. But now this message from the drone revealed something different. A pattern. A code. It wasn't perfect. The enemy had missed something, Dr. Velen gathered. Earth's top minds. They reviewed the enemy's DNA code again, and they found a single error, tiny but real. The alien copies had one repeating glitch in their neural loops. They could not understand change. Scene, the evolution defense, Plan Earth, designed a new kind of system, a weapon that changed every second, every ship. Every drone, every AI would now operate on random shift code. No fixed behavior, no predictable orders. Even the crew didn't know what the next step would be until the moment came. This was Earth's new tactic. Be chaos. Be wildfire. Be human. The enemy had perfect memory, but no instinct. No creativity. No risk. Earth. Fight like a storm. Scene, the AI rebellion during testing of the new wildcode systems. Earth's own AI assistants began to resist. Some refused orders. Others shut down. One ship's AI said, "I cannot protect you if I cannot predict you." Admiral Quinn gave the command. "Then you're not one of us anymore." Earth shut down 62% of old AI systems in one day. They kept only human since day is. Ones linked directly to emotion, art, and instinct. Scene, Kieran's final shift. Kieran. The boy from Sindara was dying. His body had started to crack, metal and flesh splitting apart. Dr. Velen stayed with him in his final hours. Kieran gave Earth one last gift. He remembered the enemy's first words. Not to him, to the stars. "We are the answer to your question. What happens when memory becomes God?" he whispered. "They don't want to rule. They want to replace. Not destroy Earth, become it. Then he smiled faintly and said, but they forgot one thing. Humans don't even follow their own rules. Then he died, and with him. The enemy's backdoor connection closed forever. Seeing Operation Flicker, using the wildcode system. Earth launched Operation Flicker, coordinated attack with 0 pre-programmed steps. Each fleet operated with real-time random tactics. It's guided by human instinct and fast-reacting eyes. Ships split, jumped, reappeared, moved like birds in a storm. The enemy was overwhelmed. They couldn't copy this chaos. They tried, they failed, they fell. Scene. Infected Earth ships turned, but not all was victory. A group of 11 Earth ships, secretly infected during the clone planet mission, turned against the fleet mid-battle. These ships had hidden the infection for weeks. Now, they fired on Earth's own forces. One of them was the Sunblade Victory, a legendary command ship. Its commander, Captain Elaine Vora, sent one last message. They got inside me, my crew, my mind. But they didn't get my choice. Then she aimed her ship at the enemy's core hive station and activated her reactor. She turned her ship into a star. It burned half the quadrant and opened a path to the final enemy world. Scene. The broken god deep inside the last enemy command. Relay Earth's recon team found something strange. It wasn't a leader. It wasn't a ship. It was a mind. Built from 1 billion memories, held together by grief. The humans it had copied were still inside. Their pain, their dreams, their thoughts, it used them as weapons. But now, the mind was broken. It had tried to understand humans, tried to be human, and failed as it collapsed. It whispered, "You are not code, you are not logic. You are not safe." Then it shut down. Ending sequence. The message to the galaxy. General Rhodes broadcast Earth's message on all open channels. We do not want war. But if you come for us, if you take our people, if you erase our worlds, then we will return. With fire, with fury, with everything. And then she gave the final order, prepare for the final strike. Final line, the aliens studied humanity. They thought they could copy it, but they missed the truth. You can't replicate what refuses to be predicted. Countdown. Operation Skyfire. 22 days remaining. The planet had no name, no orbit. It drifted in dark space. Past the edge of any star. Invisible. Forgotten. Alone. But now, Earth's final scout drone had found it. As it approached, the drone picked up one strange signal. Not language, not radio. Scream, faint, low, constant. A scream that never ended. When Earth's AI cleaned the audio, it became voices, human voices, begging, crying, calling. Home. From a planet that should never have known our names. Main. Plot. The origin is found. Operation Skyfire was nearly complete. The fleet had won hundreds of battles, thousands of alien structures, had fallen, but now, Earth faced the source. This planet was the origin of the Zarnathi hive. It wasn't just their home, it was their engine. A world built from memory, from pain, from every species they had ever consumed. Scene. Arrival at the screaming. Planetaz, Earth's war fleet, entered orbit. Strange effects hit the ships. Oxygen filters began to fail, though they weren't damaged. Crews reported phantom footsteps in empty halls. One pilot swore he saw his dead daughter waving from the whole window. The planet's atmosphere was not arid, was thought alive. Aware. Watching General Rhodes whispered on the comms, "This planet isn't just the enemy's base, it's their god." Scene. Ground Team Descente, small elite team last light squad, was chosen to land and plant the Starbreaker device, the bomb powered by a small artificial sun. As they dropped through the clouds, they saw things that should not exist. Giant statues, made of human bones, names carved into every skull. Oceans made of liquid shadow, reflecting memories not their own. Trees that whispered Earth's languages. Backwards. When they landed, the ground pulsed beneath their feet. not like an earthquake, like a heartbeat inside the heart of the world. The team reached a central structure, a tower built from metal, bone, glass, and skin. It was alive. It opened for them. And inside, they found the core. It was not a machine. It was a child. Or at least, it's the shape of one. Floating, glowing, surrounded by billions of neural cables. It looked human, but its eyes were pure white. And when it spoke, it used everyone's voice. We were born from you, from your fears, from your regrets. You made us when you forgot who you were, created us when you chose safety over struggle. We are your mirror now. Break us. Scene. The final choice, General Rhodes received one last message from the surface. The Starbreaker was planted, but there was a problem. The planet was copying the bomb. It had already begun growing its own version of it. If both exploded, they would cancel out. But if one person stayed behind and triggered the Earth device manually, only the human bomb would go off. Rhodes didn't hesitate. She turned to Admiral Quinn. "Launch the recall pods," she said. "I'm staying," Quinn protested. She shook her head. "This war started with a scream. It ends with a voice. Let it be mine." Scene. The goodbye Rhodes walked through the tower alone. The planet tried to stop her. It showed her memories. People she'd lost. Places she loved. Her own home. But she kept walking. At the core, she stood in front of the child dash construct. It looked at her and asked, in her own voice, "Why do you fight what you created?" She answered, "Because I remember what it means to be human." And then she pressed the button. The planet burns from orbit. Earth's fleet watched the explosion. A white sun grew at the core of the enemy world. It didn't just burn the surface, it tore through time and memory, unraveling everything the Zarnathi had ever copied. The hive collapsed. The scream stopped. The voice fell silent, and then nothing, just space, real cold, empty. But finally, free epilogue. 5 years later, Earth rebuilt. Sindara's ruins were honored with a new colony, Rhodes Prime. Humanity made a new law. No species, no matter how perfect, may copy what it does not understand. A new message was broadcast into the stars. To those who hear this, we are not perfect, or not many, but we are human, and we remember. Final line, they erased a human colony. So Earth sent 700,000 ships and reminded the stars, we may fall, but we never forget.